All right, so in this, what's going to be a pretty long tutorial, I'm going to walk you through all of the research process that we use to fill out our market maps. And we do this every time we've got a new company we're working with, a new offer, anything that comes to a different market or vertical you're working in. You need to go through and do this so you understand you're giving yourself kind of directional accuracy on. I don't want to be starting from square one and having to learn all the lessons that my competition has already learned. I want to learn what from based off where they've spent time and money investing and educating and overcoming mistakes and hurdles. I want to leverage all of the things that they've done to improve and make my growth quicker. And so that's really what this market map is all about. So to help you see how I do this, first I want to introduce you to the offer. In AdWars episode 1, we use Stop Your Divorce, which is an ebook written by Homer McDonald that helps people who are in the stages leading up to a divorce, get information to help kind of disarm this terrible feeling between the two. Especially, and like what I like here about the subhead is especially when you're the only one who wants to stop it. So really trying to target people who are with bad relationships that are headed for a divorce, but they would like to turn that around. So that's who we're going after. We just want to go through and build an understanding of this market so we can really figure out how to position our ads and what our strategy needs to be. So the first thing I do is I come into my keyword planner, I enter the domain of our offer, and I just want to see the keywords that are associated with it. So as we can see down here, the top keywords: divorce, divorce papers, how to get a divorce. This is something we want to look at to see our competition. This is going to be indirect competition with particular with this keyword. So I want to look at who the indirect competitors are, people who are making money that are advertising on these terms. But then also something that's very similar. So how to stop a divorce. This is more in line. This is more direct competition. So this is where I'll start my research process. How to get a divorce. I'm just going to start throwing in some of these competitors that these are going to be indirect. These are people catering to those who actually want to get divorced. So amicable divorce, it's for people in the quick and easy divorce sector. This is how they, they're targeting the exact same market based on their keywords. We just want to figure out the difference in the strategy between those who are catering to divorce and those who want to stop it. So the divorce guy. And the reason for this is because as people are going through their education process, they're typing in these terms. They're trying to figure out, am I more on the fence of I want to get a divorce or I want to save it? They're still going to be consuming all this information. So in the next piece, when we go through and build our empathy maps, this is where all this information is going to come in handy to understand the competing messages that they're experiencing. So I'm just going to copy these. Anytime you see something that's got an org in it, I would highly recommend ignoring it because that is probably operating under what's called Google Grants. So every nonprofit gets, I think, $10,000 a month to advertise on AdWords. So if you see an org, I would ignore it because they're probably not generating profit off of it. These guys that end in .com, the chances are a lot higher. So how to stop a divorce, we're going to look at the .coms. Strong Marriage Now. These are direct because this is under the stop a divorce. These people are in targeting the same market with similar offers to ours. So direct. Marriage. So marriagefoundation.org. This is probably a grant because there's an ORG, so I'm going to ignore that. Yourmarriagehelper.com. Go down here at the bottom. The divorce guy. So this is not, these guys probably aren't targeting very well. They're targeting divorces. UnitedFamilies.org. So those are both orgs. So let's look at, when we're going through and evaluating these, 15-minute save marriage video, these are ratings. So I'll look at those two and see if either one of them will be helpful for us. Okay, so now I've got Marriage Helper and Marriage Max both pulled up at the same time. They both have 7 steps to saving your marriage. So that'll be important to know over here in the messaging, the key messages. Both have 7 steps. 7 steps. So I want to say that that's a commonality between them because obviously it's important to know whatever other people are doing, how we're going to leverage and piggyback. We've got a different offer. It looks like they both have just basically free opt-ins to get 7 ways, and then 7 ways over here the 7 secrets to fixing your marriage. So, but also as you can see down here, he's got a product that he's selling more, 90% success rate, 100 back money back guarantee. So this is very similar to our offer. So I think I'm probably going to piggyback off this one to do my competitive research right now so you can see everything. So I'm just going to highlight Marriage Max is the one that I'm going to spend my time on. So let's go through here and we're just going to do some more research on their business. So let's look at their Facebook and their Twitter pages. So it's underneath Mort Fertel. He's the guy. So we want to look at him. Facebook URL. He has 26,000 followers, 26,000 likes. And why this is so important, what's really cool about this is when he puts out content, what you'll be able to see is we can look at the people who have liked or shared this and get an idea of who follows him, who interacts with his stuff, who's leaving comments. 89, we've got comments on here. These are the people that we're going to want to research. So, anyone who's engaging with this individual, if his goal is to build better marriages, we want to know who's going through this, through stuff that they don't want to be going through and what they share in common. Is it a particular age group? Is it a particular gender? Is it a particular, are these people more spiritual, less spiritual? What are the pieces that are really important to finding a commonality in this market to make sure that we are focusing our ad spend on the right individuals? So that's how I'll go through later and look at in deeper, but this is kind of how you're going to use this social media information. So we'll also copy his Twitter, and he's got 9,643. So we're going to call it 10,000 followers on Twitter. So great stuff there. Then we'll go back to marriagemax.com, and we're going to take this over to SimilarWeb. This is where we understand all of the website statistics. And what we're looking for here is basically the average number of people coming in, the country rank. So in the US, it's 1,113,641. So it's a decent size, website, 113,641. And the goal with all of these numbers, so the followers and the website rank, is to understand directionally how do these stack up relative to the other places, the other competitors in the same market. So if Mort has 26,000 Facebook followers and MarriageHelper.com has 2,000, while it may not be apples to apples from the revenue perspective, there's probably a good chance that Mort's business is 10 to 13 times larger than Marriage Helper. It's really just going to be, we want to have an idea of who we should really model based on who's the biggest and what our unique value proposition is. So then we've got an idea here. If we look, last 6 months, about 250,000, 500, almost 600, 500, 300, 200. So they've got about 200,000 visits a month, mostly from the US. A lot of it's coming from search, some direct, some referral, social, mail, display. So social and display, these are going to probably be their ads. And the display, the fact there's 1.57%. So basically 2% of 200,000. Don't ask me to do mental math here, but it's going to be 40,000 visitors from display, I think, more or less. So we've got an opportunity there. There's a lot of information. So we know that we can definitely do some ad research on them. From the referral site, what I really like to look at are, the top referrals, figure out if there is a group that we really want to target as either potential partners or potential placements. So the adventurous, writer, guide doc, those aren't very interesting right now. This is a shopping cart. Married people problems. This is definitely something that we might consider looking at. So I'll open this up and we'll look and see if this is a potential placement. Do they have ads on here? So this looks like an ad. Definitely content on here that if we can serve ads, this looks like an ad. My divorce papers. These might be direct buys. They don't look like they don't have the little ad symbol, so they probably are bought directly through. So it may not be an opportunity, but they may try and fill their extra inventory with AdWords ads. So get your great deal, most popular. So once again, if you're looking for direct buy opportunities, this may be one of the sites that we could go through and have direct buys with them. So once again, this is divorce papers. My divorce papers does not look like it's got the AdWords symbol on it. So the huge opportunity for direct buy. So I'm just going to take note of this referral and say we may want to come back and target them. So top ad placements. This is where we take marriagemax.com. Where are we at here? marriagemax.com, and this is where we're going to start doing our ad research. So I'm going to head over to SEMrush, and SEMrush is great because it's going to give us two pieces of information. So first is search advertising, so paid search, and second is display. So we get an idea on what they're advertising on search, and then what they're advertising on display. The other thing we can look at in here is our organic competitors, so Save My Marriage, Our Relationship, Growing Self. These are places we may want to look at as potential placements, having an opportunity there, but I want to look at the display advertising. This is what's most interesting to me. So right now, from How to Fix Your Marriage, these are a lot of their ads. So we can look at the top ads. So How to Fix Your Marriage. What I'm going to do here is just copy this URL because it's going to be the report. So if we go in here and just, oops, I don't want that. I want the ads. Put this over here. We're going to give ourselves an opportunity to come in and understand. I'll also do this in AdBeat, but I'm just going to basically see all of the ads that they're putting out. I'll come back and review it when I go through the empathy map to see the messages that they're using and how they're getting people to click. From the publisher side, this is going to be an important piece, all of their placements. So another name for publishers is placements. I'm going to copy this address, and I'm going to put this in there. And then the last one is the landing pages. So I want to look at the landing page and see where they're driving people from these. So 7 secrets, once again, fix your marriage, opt in, first subscribe. Definitely the importance here is the social proof. Not sure I could have done it without you. Get a proof builder with his profile, first name. So it's definitely targeting the same market, but they have a different, we're trying to sell something and they're getting them into an email list. So they've found that the lead generation works well. So I'm going to put that in there, come back and review that later. Now we're going to head over to AdBeat. We're going to run the exact same thing. So I want to look at marriagemax.com in AdBeat. Okay, AdBeat is amazing. If you haven't ever used it before, highly recommend. It's going to come in and show you their ad spend over the last, we've been looking at the last 6 months. It looks like it's almost entirely on Google. So definitely looking at GDN, probably some GDN, probably some search. What we can look at here. So what's nice is understand we can look at the ad content, and you know, this is obviously the ad we were just looking at on SEMrush, so it looks very similar. Stop a separation. This might be a campaign that is interesting to look at. This is going to be most, you know, compare most closely to what we're going after. Stopping a separation. So didn't look like they ran it for very long. How to end a separation. Learn how to ruin their affair and avoid a separation. Interesting stuff. So an opportunity for us to come back and model our ads after theirs. It doesn't look like it worked particularly well because they're not spending on it still. So definitely something that we can come back and revisit later on. But what's most important to me, what I really like with AdBeat is the creatives are nice. We can see the size breakdown. This is pretty standard stuff. The campaigns, sure. The publishers is what's really important to me. So I actually have the list, the opportunity to go in and look at their list and see where they're advertising. So about.com, and we can look at the exact URLs to see where they spend their money on each URL and figure out, so signs of divorce, after a breakup, who should I come out to first? They're obviously appealing to a lot of different information. So gay teens coming out, who should I come out to first? That's interesting to see why they're placing it there. Is a divorce potentially because of coming out, or are they targeting something else? So that's really interesting. Distract yourself, stages of friendship. Did you marry Mr. Wrong? Was a friend? So really what I would be looking at is ruining your relationship. What I want to try and find is, should I get a divorce? This is probably a great one. Divorcesupport.com. Should we stop a divorce, avoid divorce? So this is probably newlyweds.about.com. So we're just going to go check out this particular, of course, 404 not found. So anyway, you want to look through the placements and figure out what relates most closely to yours. And if you can find something, you can basically just cherry pick other these publishers that there may be an opportunity for you to come in and, you know, advertise here and see if you can get conversions from it. So really interesting, hugely helpful information. So what I would do is come back. look at our publishers, and I would just copy this. And that way I got in here, I've got another opportunity to add in information. And so basically this is how we go through and build a profile to understand all of our competitors. Where are they advertising? What are they saying? Who are their followers? This is a hugely useful piece of information that I'm going to go through and complete. So I've got all my research together and have a really good understanding of who I want to be targeting, what I want to be saying, and where I want to be saying it. And once we've kind of gone through and built this map, the what we're going to be saying, that comes down to our empathy map, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. So right now, I think the biggest thing for you is if you can go through and start building your first map, the amount of information you're going to get out of this is so much more valuable. Sorry, I'm very OCD about having stuff centered, but the amount of information you'll get just by going through this exercise once or twice, you will start to see commonalities, how things stack up against one another. The information here is incredible, especially if you're going against someone who has a proven offer that works well, and you just want to be able to go plug and chug and get the information you need and see how things relate and who you want to model your business after. Amazing information. So we'll include in the resources links to SEMrush and AdBeat, two awesome tools. If you're going to run an agency, you should absolutely have access to them because they give you such great competitive information. If you have any questions about this, make sure to join us in the Pro League Slack channel, and you can come in and ask questions of Justin and myself to talk about how we do our research. And if there's anything big that you need help with, just shoot us a message and we'll figure out if we can answer your question.